Minions and Monsters hit theaters on July 1st, 2026, a 90-minute animated comedy from Illumination. It's the third Minions prequel and the seventh film in the Despicable Me franchise, and it walked in the door carrying the best reviews this franchise has ever received. Having now seen the film, I can report that the critics are celebrating a movie whose single greatest achievement is being completely harmless, while also stroking the ego of the Hollywood machine. I'm the real-life Fake Wizard, and this is a Fake Wizard's review of Minions and Monsters. If this video brings you any value, hit the subscribe button, as we're posting lots of reviews nearly every day. The movie opens on a framing device. A tour guide walks a group of kids through a museum of Hollywood history, and she stops at an exhibit for two minions nobody in the group recognizes: James and Henry. From there, we drop back to the 1920s and meet a brand new tribe of minions. No Gru, no Kevin, Stewart, or Bob. Just a fresh batch of yellow idiots doing what minions do, which is finding evil bosses and accidentally killing them. And in search for the most evil possible, the tribe stumbles onto a Hollywood backlot and wrecks a Western mid-shoot. Overnight, they're the biggest silent film act in the world because slapstick has no language barrier, and neither functionally does Minionese. Christoph Waltz plays their director, Jeff Bridges voices both of the twin studio bosses, and for a stretch, the Minions are the toast of Tinseltown. And then sound arrives, the world realizes it can't understand a single word these fellers say, and their careers die overnight, which is very similar to what happened in the actual Hollywood age when we went from no sound to sound. A lot of actors did not have the voices that many of the audience thought that the actors would have, and they kind of lost their careers. So James, the dreamer of the group, decides to make his own monster movie, and the rest of the adventure continues from there. You know, people undercut the Despicable Me movies because the Minions are very stupid little creatures, and yes, they are. The problem is that everyone stops looking there, when underneath all the gibberish, these movies are almost always heartfelt first and stupid second. The first two Despicable Me movies have excellent stories about family that you used to find in classic Disney films but don't anymore. The pattern remains true with Minions and Monsters. This one is a story about a little yellow dreamer who wants to make something, and the two friends who follow him off a cliff to make it happen. That's a pretty good idea for a kids movie. There's more to it already than some other kids movies from this year. Cough, cough, Super Mario Galaxy movie, which had a sneeze of a story. There's a specific word that comes to mind with Minions and Despicable Me properties: harmless. These movies are harmless. When you sit down for a modern Disney film, somebody in that building has decided your kid is going to absorb a worldview today, and they've hidden it in the third act like a pill in peanut butter. Illumination doesn't play any games like that. There is nothing other than a 90-minute film meant to entertain families with little kids. It's slapstick and a story about friends making a movie together. That's it. Now, the very thing that every critic on Earth is celebrating is that this movie is a love letter to old Hollywood. The movie spends lots of time going through Easter eggs and showcases that nod at old Hollywood, like Citizen Kane but with minions, A Trip to the Moon but with minions. For adults in the audience, they might go, "I remember that, I know what that is," and kids, well, they won't get it at all. They won't understand what any of that means, but they'll think it's funny, and that's good. And while all of this is, again, harmless, it kind of made my stomach turn. A love letter to Hollywood? Are you kidding me? Written in 2026, delivered by the seventh film in a $5.6 billion merchandising franchise? All of it is very hard to take seriously. This movie is fond of a Hollywood that actually made things, and whether or not they were actually respectable at the time, what they were making was something worth revering. But that Hollywood is long dead. Today's Hollywood is the town that shipped The Mandalorian and Grogu, Masters of the Universe, and Supergirl inside the same 12 months. And when that industry showers this movie with the highest Rotten Tomatoes scores in franchise history, 90 percentile, the best reviews these movies have ever seen, you do have to ask what exactly is being graded. Hollywood made an I Love Hollywood movie, and then Hollywood gave itself glowing reviews. The town will always love a movie about how magical the town used to be, because it beats looking in the mirror at what Hollywood is today. Grotesque and undead. Now, full disclosure, before the next part, I am a Lovecraft fan. I like the old stories. A kid's movie where the monsters are Lovecraft adjacent is, for me, very fun. The two big monsters frozen in the ice are named Howard and Philip. You get it? H.P. Lovecraft. That's the joke. There's a lot of jokes like that. Goomy is a chew toy Cthulhu with the voice of Trey Parker. Irene is a giant orange blob covered in eyeballs, which is both an homage to The Blob from 1958 and Lovecraft monsters. Lovecraft themes usually involve madness and violence, and for this movie to instead be very lighthearted and very fun is great. But in tying everything together here, let's be honest about who this movie is for. This is a baby movie. It's for little kids. The plot is simple, the colors are loud, the slapstick is constant, the runtime is a merciful 90 minutes, and a minion falls down roughly every 40 seconds. For the target demographic, that's ideal. And the target demographic will love every second of it, and that's great. And yet, for the best material, like the best jokes, really, the best nods, they're all things the kids won't get. George Lucas appears in the film as himself, trapped inside a museum display case. It's a great way to open a movie, but kids won't understand at all. Same with the Citizen Kane bit. Same with lots of the love letter to Hollywood bits. These jokes are for cinema aficionados, and cinema aficionados aren't exactly lining up to see a Minions movie. A ticket to Minions and Monsters runs about $15 with matinees under $10. While the story carries heart, the whole machine is engineered to entertain a 5-year-old for 90 minutes, and that is all this movie is trying to be. Which renders Minions and Monsters, I'm thinking a 7.5 out of 10. This movie's fine. It's harmless. That's what it's supposed to be. But summer is stacked with family movies right now. Toy Story 5 is still in theaters, and the Moana remake is right on the horizon. And we'll be covering all of it right here on Fake Wizards. If this review brought you any value, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire, and cancel your Disney Plus subscription.